So let's talk about a children's trust. As I mentioned in the other module, what a trust is a structure that is set up so that you have management of assets. Well, a children's trust is designed to take those assets when you pass away and create that structure to manage those assets for your children's future. Typically, it looks something like this. The trustee is told to take all the assets that come into the trust and to create a separate bucket for each of the children. And from each child's bucket, the trustee is told to use as much of that fund as is needed for that child's health, education, and to maintain the standard of living that they've grown accustomed to under your care. So essentially, that money is there to keep them comfortable, keep them safe, get them through school, and if we are able to get through those primary objectives, still having assets in there, then at some point, we're going to test the waters and give the children some of the money to take care of themselves. And we typically do that at 3 different points in their lifetime. First, the age of 25, they'd be entitled to a distribution of 1/3 of their money. Then, at the age of 30, they'll be entitled to half of what's left, and 35, the rest of it. It's important to understand that the way that we created our trust, those children are not denied access to the rest of those funds throughout that journey to 35. However, they will have to go through the gatekeeper, the trustee, to get any additional money. So for example, if the child is in his mid-20s and wants to buy a home and goes to the trustee and says, "Mr. Trustee, I would like to get $100,000 out of my trust to buy a home." The trustee can say, "Okay, tell me a little bit more about that deal." And the kid now comes back and says, "Well, I'm going to put $100,000 down on $1 million home." Trustee can say, "Wait, that does not make sense. You're too risky with it. I'm not going to approve that type of a transaction." Now, if you come back to me and you're going to buy a $200,000 home with that $100,000, now that makes sense to me as the trustee, and I will approve that request. So you're using the role of the trustee to continue to instill your financial values in the children and to make sure that the money that is there is protected. Whether it's protected against bad decision making like leveraging $100,000 into $1 million home, or bad decision making like marrying somebody that was not the right choice and having the money caught up in the divorce process. The money that is in the trust is protected as long as it's in the trust. So that's the primary role of a children's trust, to create a structure not only to get them through their minor years, but into their adulthood with the money being used to keep them happy, keep them safe, and setting them on a course for success down the road.